Welcome to Samurai Cinema. Today we're looking into a 1969 Hideo Gosha classic starring Tatsuya Nakadai. It's a story of remorse, revenge, and redemption of a ronin haunted by his past misdeeds, now on a quest to cut down the man whose ambitions led to his self-exile. We'll be discussing Goyokin. I'm your host, GojiraFerret, so let's begin. Goyokin, or Official Gold. Don't worry, the plot will explain the title, is a 1969 Jirageki film written and directed by Hideo Gosha. Hideo is responsible for co-writing other Jirageki classics such as Three Outlaw Samurai and Sword of the Beast. Hideo is accompanied by cinematographer Kozo Okazaki and composer Masaru Sato, who composed the score for this movie as well as Kill, Godzilla Raids Again, and Toshiro Mifune's last Kurosawa film, Redbeard. The movie would cast Tatsuya Nakadai as the lead character Magobe Wakazaki, a samurai exiled to Edo after participating in a mass murder. The role of Saman Fujimaki, a ronin with a secret identity and support actor, would originally go to legend Toshiro Mifune, but was replaced by Konosuke Nakamura weeks into filming. On a budget of 200 million yen, or $1.4 million, Hideo would utilize Panavision, making Goyokin the first Japanese film to be shot with the lens. Goyokin was released on May 1st, 1969, and distributed by Toho, then seeing a general release 16 days later. The film would see a US release by Toho International with English subtitles in September of the same year. In 1974, Goyokin would be cut down into an 85-minute runtime, as well as being renamed The Steel Edge of Revenge. The re-release would feature the shorter runtime and an English dubbing. Taking place in the late years of the Tokugawa period, or better known as the Edo period, where Japan was under rule of the Tokugawa shogunate, established by Tokugawa Ieyasu from the ashes of the Sengoku period. It was a time of internal peace and political stability, which saw economic growth under the Tokugawa shogunate. But times aren't as peaceful as believed, as a young woman comes home to her fishing village and seeing that everyone, including her family, have been massacred by an unknown force. Our hero, Magobai Wakizaka, is a haunted and run-down former samurai of the Sabai Clan, now ronin who resides in Edo, where he performs amazing feats of swordsmanship as a sideshow to make little to no money. Disillusioned with the samurai way, Magobai attempts to sell his katana and walk away from his past, but chooses to keep his blade. He is confronted by assassins of the Sabai Clan who attempt to kill him for fear he would release a dark secret to the shogun that would lead to the death of the entire clan. After the sword fight, we discovered that Magobai participated in a massacre of a fishing village who had recovered Goyokin, or Official Gold, from a sunken bakufu, or government ship that was transporting it. After the massacre, Magobai turns his back on his clan, as well as his childhood friend and clan master Rakugo Tatawaki, played by Tetsuro Tomba. 3 years later, present day, Magobai discovers that Rakugo was the one that sent the assassins to silence him of the slaughter. Filled with resolve and remorse for the deaths of the innocent, Magobai vows to return to the Sabai domain to seek revenge against his childhood friend, but must go through Rakugo's loyal soldiers as well as his retainer named Kunai. During his quest for revenge, Magobai would befriend two hustlers caught in an argument with Yakuza gangsters, a man named Rakuzo played by Ben Hiroa, and Ruriko Asoka's character Orihina, who would be revealed as the young woman in the opening scene. Meanwhile, Kunai would hire a ronin named Saman Fujimaki, who claims he goes where he smells money. Fujimaki would eventually join Magobai and explain Rakugo's plan to sink another bakufu ship, as well as slaughter all the villagers to keep his massacre a secret from the shogun. With no time to waste, Magobai and Saman set off towards the site where the attack is supposed to take place. Unfortunately, our heroes are captured by Kunai and Sabai forces and brought to Rakugo, who has been using his sister, Shino, acted by Yoko Tsukasa, to bribe Magobai into giving up his quest to live a life alone with her as his wife. Our heroes are taken to the site of the attack and make their escape. A final battle ensues, which foils Rakugo's evil plan. The next day, Rakugo tells Shino that he would like to speak with Magobai alone. The two childhood friends meet in a snow-covered field, where it is revealed that Rakugo is not only blinded by greed, but by his twisted vision of the samurai way that he has been using to justify his horrible actions. Both men duel in the snow, and our hero Magobai arises victorious. Afterwards, Magobe meets with Saman at the grave of his fallen childhood friend and denounces the samurai way, walking away through a frozen plain with Shino far back in tow. This amazing story was shot in Panavision, which allowed cinematographer Kozo Okazaki to take amazing wide shots that would capture the scenery as the actors walk through amazing backdrops. The use of colors throughout the film also complemented the scenes depending on the setting. Bright colors in Edo when Magobe is performing for the sideshow, gloomy dark colors in a rundown muddy village, and bright whites with characters clad in dark colors for the scenes shot with a snowscape. Shots hold just long enough to convey the scene, even though there are times where it seems that the shot takes longer than it should. If there were a strong point to this film, it would be Okazaki's cinematography. But the cinematography doesn't take away from the actors or their abilities. Acting is always a hard thing to analyze, as now these days it's almost subjective, but in terms of how it relates to this film, every actor pulled their weight. Hideo cast some of the best actors and actresses that he could find, with some of them very well seasoned. Tatsuya may have had the hardest role as Magobe, as our hero had to convey torment for his past as well as resolve for what he must do to atone for his actions. I do wish I could have saw more scenes in development with Oriya, as Ruriko did such a great job in the role, as well as her character having a deep past in relation to the story. No samurai film is complete without action scenes sprinkled about the narrative, and Goyokin utilizes the scenes properly. The action is spread out, though very light in the first half, only used to establish a character's skill with a sword or in combat situations. Near the end, during the final battle against the Sabai Clan forces, the action has an uptick. The fight scenes are paced well, not a lot of frantic waving and movements in between clashes to let the prior mix-up set in. Due to the amazing cinematography, the action scenes aren't tight and claustrophobic. Instead, they capture a wide angle and you don't miss a single movement. Though the shots are wide and encompassing, sword swipes are quick and precise, so blinking could result in you missing a deadly slash. Blood effects are used similar to most films, with spraying of blood when appropriate but not gratuitous like Lady Snowblood or Lone Wolf and Cub can be. Between action scenes, there are long moments of establishing dialogue. Hideo made it a point to show and rarely tell, so you won't find information being dumped during dialogue. Dialogue is quick and not long-winded, using every moment to push the main narrative in a way, and rarely stalling. Accompanying the scenes are the superb Foley that captures amazing sounds to build on the ambiance, such as footsteps in the dirt, the rain falling in a silent night, to the crisp sounds of blades crashing together. Dialogue and sound as a whole is amazing, but is supported by the foundation that is Masamoto Sato's composition. Each composition plays to its respective scene, especially at the very end, conveying the emotion of Magobe's choice to leave the samurai lifestyle behind. With all these aspects taken into consideration, how does the movie in its entirety stack up? Simply put, it's not just an average revenge tale, though it's definitely wrapped up in one. In the end, its narrative reveals that it's not entirely about Magobe's revenge, but his quest to close the book on a chapter in his life and find closure, as well as atoning for his sins. It's a quest for him to find resolution and walk away from a lifestyle that he once loved, but has inevitably led to his disdain and self-exile. A story of a man confronting his dark past, able to walk away from the path that led him to darkness. Most revenge stories, which I love a good revenge story above all else, end with the hero claiming victory and continuing their ways. This movie flips the expectation, and Magobe renounces the samurai way. That being considered, it's a very powerful message. I would say this film's strongest attributes were the cinematography. And I wasn't the only one to think so, as Goyokin won the awards for the best cinematography and best art direction at the Mainichi Film Concourse. I would highly recommend this film to anyone who's a fan of Jidaigeki films or revenge stories. I hope you enjoyed my analysis of Hideo Gosha's Goyokin. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment down below on your thoughts on Goyokin. If you'd like to stay up to date with future content, please give Samurai Cinema a subscribe. I'm GojiraFerret, and thank you for watching.